Bienvenidos, mi amigos. This is Only Joel Can Judge Me. And this is an Illuminate solo deathless full map clear super Helldive on Widow's Harbor with the new Illuminate units. So real quickly, I'm going to go with my weapon choices. I have an upgraded reprimand, an ultimatum, and gas grenades. My stratagems were MG turret, orbital gas, orbital rail cannon, and a wasp. I picked this build because it basically allows me to answer everything the new Illuminate units have to offer. Basically, my current control is going to be the orbital gas grenades, reprimand, and the MG turret, which provides me with enough CC to handle the bolus hordes and not get overrun. And then the wasp answers everything else. You know, the wasp one-tops overseers, all overseers, including the new Crescent ones. And it four-shots the, I'll call it a voteless Chimera. And it also destroys the, it comes up as interloper, but they're calling it Stingray, by auto-targeting the Stingray, and it only takes about 2 or 3, actually 3 rockets from the Wasp. So basically the Wasp will cover Overseers, the Stingray, and the Voteless Chimera. The only thing that was kind of an issue was like Harvesters. So Harvesters will take between 2 and 3 volleys from the Wasp, depending. But I mean, that was the main complaint with the Wasp before. Because you have to take down the shields, then you have to do a few volleys with the Wasp to kill the Harvester, so it's not exactly good at it. So to address that, I just take my reprimand, I take the shields down, I'll throw a volley with the Wasp, and if I have an orc available, I'll throw an orc, and that's literally an Harvester killed in seconds. If there are 2 Harvesters, as you'll see later in the game, really not an issue, because it's only between 2 and 3 volleys to kill a Harvester. So you can address the first one by taking its shield down with the reprimand, hitting it with an orc, and then simultaneously firing a single volley of the Wasp, and that Overseer's down in seconds. And then for the second one, same deal. Take the shields down with the reprimand, and then just fire 2 volleys with the Wasp. And you'll be taking down Harvesters, at a relatively good pace. One thing to note is they said the ultimatum does not kill the parked warp ships. And as you just saw, it definitely still does that. So that's not really a concern. Whether this is intentional or unintentional, it allows a build like this to exist. One thing that orbital gas can do as well is kill one of those parked ships. So when coming to even like a large Illuminate ship base, you only need 2 ultimatums and an orbital gas. Orbital gas's cooldown is extremely fast. So you'll always, or most likely, have those things available. And if not, it should be just a few seconds out. There's the orbital gas, which I put on the ship because I think it has to make contact.
Outpost destroyed. Dropping a pin.
Another thing to note is that MG turret actually kills the Chimeras. Okay, I call them Chimeras, but like between friends, we call them fatties. Because they look like big, fat, naked guys. And, I don't know, that's what they look like more to me. Like a drunk, naked, fat guy just running at you. To the same effect, too, because they act like chargers, the new units. So we'll go over new unit behavior. The naked fatties... So they'll charge at you, and you can dodge them the same way you would dodge a charger. But be mindful they flail at you. So give them a little bit of a wider berth.
Sending down
But same thing,
sentry.
wait for them to commit to a charge, move out of the way, you know, sidestep them,
Package retrieved.
and then address them as you can. They have a couple weak points. I have a bunch of blue faces on them, glowing blue faces. And if you want, this is not the most effective way to deal with them, but you can shoot each of the blue faces, and when you've killed them all, the fatty dies. The easier way to deal with them is with the Wasp, because it's auto-lock in 4 shots. There you can see that the new unit, the Stingray, is easily killed with the Wasp. I fire several rockets, but it only takes about 3. So that's how the Wasp addresses those units. And as for the new Crescent Overseer, it's a 1-tap with the Wasp.
Tactical asset near your position.
And that's why I feel like Wasp is king in regards to the new Illuminates. I mean, it's probably always been king because it's an auto sniper. Most people struggle with the flying overseers, and it's literally 1-tapping them. You can target multiple units, basically lock with the Wasp, fire a single rocket, move to another target, acquire that target, fire that rocket, and you can do this in rapid succession. You don't have to stay trained on the unit until it dies. You can literally acquire, fire rocket, acquire, fire rocket, acquire, fire rocket, and just repeat that as many times as you have rockets.
Sending down sentry.
Like I said, the flying overseers have been an issue to most players. Literally completely negates them. I like to have an overlapping coverage, so you still have Reprimand. If there's a bunch of flying overseers, you still have MG turret. You have so many ways to address them that you really don't get overrun. I like my stratagems to do multiple things. So MG turret also handles overseers, it handles voteless, and it also now handles fatties. MG turret will kill fatties, so it will also kill the Stingrays, kind of making it, you know, a better choice than things like Tesla. All in all, Illuminates haven't really changed. Having to deal with the new units, though, makes you want to switch your loadout up. This is not the regular loadout I would pick. One thing to note here is that a lot of people get stuck on entering cities, especially when there's no way to go in. You can always make a path with any stratagem, like a supply pod, commando, eats. You can make a hole, like so. I don't use this hole because it's just flooded with voteless.
Deploying sentry. Fire in the hole!
But there's that good CC. Even when surprised by an angry group of voteless, we're able to get away. Rack up 30 plus kills. There's the Overseer, and you can watch. We'll get back to the Orc now, right? So we took its shields down. We fired a single Orc. We're not even in line of sight with it, and it's dead. You really can't beat that. A lot of people wonder, like, why would you bring Orc? But here's a perfect example. It gives you a no shit response. An immediate one that's effective. One that you don't have to aim for. And for me, that's a win. So again, Orc provides you an oh shit response. It provides you with a burst damage response. And it also provides you with an ability to take on multiple harvesters. So with all those things combined, it's obviously a viable choice, regardless of how you feel about it. I think this is me getting preoccupied in real life with something. Oh, I didn't talk about my booster experimental infusion. So I get that quick sprint speed, whether I want to go in or away from units. And scout armor for obvious reasons.
Objective nearby.
Again, I don't really fuck with anything I don't have to. So you watch me just kind of breeze by multiple enemies and not really care about them.
Sending down equipment package. Sending down sentry.
Easy work. I'll talk really quickly about the new weapon customization. It's great. This is a partially upgraded Reprimand you're seeing. And I've upgraded Reprimand a lot farther now, and it's made it extremely good. Recoil was never a huge issue if you know how to compensate for it, but with all the upgrades, it completely negates the annoying vertical recoil if you build correctly. You used to have the first-person ADS. You can stay in third-person if you want now. I don't do it in this video because this is not a fully upgraded Reprimand. But I think once I get iron sights to improve ergo, I will definitely switch to third-person ADS. I'll quickly talk about ergo. I'm no expert, but the way I understand ergo is just short for ergonomics, and for me that translates into weapons handling.
Sending down sentry. Dropping a pin. For prosperity.
For what it's worth too, I leave this game with close to 500 kills. So I'm a big proponent of choice engagements or surgical engagements on all fronts. A lot of people like to rack up kills, or a lot of people like to avoid kills. For me, it's point A to point B, and everything in between is getting crushed. Maybe not necessarily, not through like point A to point B, but all the points and the enemies around it are getting destroyed. We'll usually sneak by enemies in between points and just kill what's protecting the bases and surrounding it. I won't fully kill all the enemies at the base either. I'll basically carve a path and give myself enough space to complete the objective. Give that one tap, auto snipe overseers. This is why experimental infusion is king. You see yourself in a panic situation, stim, and then run, zigzag to shake the enemies. I take this opportunity to obviously kill like a dropship.
Outpost cleared.
And that's what this game is about. It's multitasking, taking targets of opportunity, time management, and horde control, whether that be kill the horde, avoid the horde, or in my case, just kind of surgically carve a path through the horde.
Squid outpost spotted. Deploying equipment package.
The way I see it, those enemies that are still alive, they don't mean anything, and they provide the engine some confusion as to where to place enemies. So leaving them alive to me is better, because it means the engine has to rearrange some stuff.
Get some! Get some! Last reload! Out of ammo! Freedom forever! Dropping a pin.
Also, placing that MG turret as a distraction helps a lot with the squids. You can have them occupied in one area of the city while you operate and actually do what you want in another part. It gives you the ability to create angles that weren't there. And that's another thing this game is about, is creating angles, finding angles. As opposed to just like a power fantasy, just gonna walk the enemy down. It's the only thing that sucks about not bringing a jump pack, because everything's so far away.
There's something here. Sending down sentry.
We throw our MG turret, the emissary of our will. Sets the tone, lets everyone know that we choose violence. I'll talk about MG turret placement. Can be used in a couple different ways. In this instance, it was like a forward aggressive push that got to be the point of the spear. Sometimes it's off to the side so we can flank. Other times it's just straight up a distraction, making noise in one area so I can go and do stuff in another. So be creative, because it's one of the best tools in the game.
Have a taste of democracy. Mission at 20 minutes remaining.
thing to note, Reprimand slaps on Overseers, as you can see. So I don't have like a big orbital like a 500, which would be ideal in this situation. But I can, you know, from far away, pick off what I can see with the Wasp, and then clean up the remaining enemies with the Reprimand as I get close. Which, if you've been paying attention, is how I address this entire game. There's that gas grenade CC. CC you later.
Deploying sentry.
Another thing to note, as you can see right there, the Stingray strikes
Sending down equipment.
can be avoided if you find rocks and stuff to cover, even if you're in direct line of sight of the blast.
Get some! Get some!
There's the MG turret. It actually killed the Stingray. Another thing to note, it's a stationary reload on the Wasp. And for anybody that follows, you can do a slight reload cancel. Once the round hits the weapon, you can either stand up, jump, or kneel to cancel the final part of the animation.
Tagging map. Sending down sentry. How'd you like the taste of freedom?
Another thing to note is that the Wasp is really good at handling the Watchers. I mean, that was not an example of that, but it's a one-tap auto sniper, and that stops all reinforcements. Oh, that was my Seif nuke for whopping 3 kills. As always, on like the final objective, feels like the game scrambles to try to prevent you from achieving victory. And it did right there with the quick Watcher call down. And then you're going to see shortly, that was already a big reinforcement, but it's about to bring some other big units my way.
Deploying sentry.
Along with the meteor shower, because why not? It completes my purge illuminates, so it was really easy to kill them with the wasp. Here I have to back off a little because it's starting to get hairy, and I'll usually stick around, let the area get nice and populated, and then leave. I'm not a full proponent of despawn, but I am not stupid enough to stay in a hot area, so I will walk away from it, let it cool off. That provided me with the Watcher calling in here, which is a little too far from the main objective, and it gave me enough space to continue messing with consoles and spinning wheels or whatever you have to do. There's the interloper. And there goes the interloper. Sorry, interloper is what they're called when you ping them. But I think the devs want to call it Stingray.
Sending down equipment package. Deploying sentry.
It's just auto snipe this overseer. Auto snipe this overseer. Easy work. The Wasp is a beautiful weapon. Kill some fatties. And then as you can see, just two random ass harvesters magically spawn in front of me.
Have a taste of democracy.
So this should be a problem, right? But this is where this build shines. Because even in the event that two harvesters just appear out of thin air, it's one wasp volley, an orc, and that's one harvester. This is on top of fighting the shaft and killing the fatties and the stingray that was just here. So if you're wondering if this build is effective, it's super effective. It can handle all that, plus a reinforcement. And as you can see, the second harvester was killed in just 2 volleys after the shields were taken down. So what would normally cause an issue was not. The only issue I'm having right now is that they took this opportunity to reinforce, even though they reinforced like 60 seconds ago. Because, you know, that's normal. We'll throw the MG turret, Harbinger of Doom. The Silver Surfer to my Galactus.
That's called democracy.
You will keep enemies at bay and keep their minds preoccupied with lots of harm and sharp pointy metal. While I turn this wheel. One shot. Stupid folders finally figure out, oh no, he's over there.
Firing gas strike.
And they're handled.
At 10 minutes remaining.
For prosperity.
Quick work. So the chimeras or the fatties would usually be an issue to players, but with the Wasp, it's literally like a delete button. Some people say like bring AC. Yeah, AC is good. I mean, because flak seems to be what these enemies are weak to. But in my opinion, the Wasp is way better. Mainly because it auto locks, you know, auto snipes every single unit the Illuminate have to offer. Whereas the auto cannon has to be fired and aimed with. The Wasp range, I would say, is like up to 200 meters of auto snipe, and it's not even in a straight line. It goes through smoke, and obviously enemies don't even know you're there. And we'll do comical things like involuntary cartwheels or just go spinning into space, which is always funny.
Dropping a pin.
As you can see, I had little to no problems with this loadout. So if you're looking for one, here it is. You don't necessarily need orbital rail cannon. It just made the most sense to me. You can bring whatever you like. That's kind of like my flex spot here. I think the rest of this game is looking around for a fourth objective because I'm confused because the objectives are bugged on the new Illuminates. So, also fake calling like an extract to get units to come while I search so that I don't have units on top of me. Because that's one thing I love is a misdirection plays.
This is Pelican 1. Helldivers are outside the extraction zone. Landing aborted.
Have a taste of democracy.
And it's better there's noise here while I go search for this fourth objective that I think exists, but does not in reality.
Found something.
And over here is like, oh,
One life
what
from Super Earth.
Warning, you
it's just the
are
wind, buddy.
mission area.
Just the wind.
Tagging map.
That's another thing to note. I mean, the Illuminates are gone by the time this video drops. But Illuminate missions are bugged. Like, there's 3 side objectives or 4. You know, it makes no sense. So if you come up on a mission, you finish 3 side objectives, you've scoured the entire map and you can't find the 4th, just know it probably doesn't exist.
5 minutes remaining. I repeat, 5 minutes remaining.
All in all, I feel like this has been a great update. Weapon customizations, new enemies, the new war bond, new New Warbond's kind of like a cosmetic thing. There's nothing really worth buying outside of drip. So you do what you want there. You want to drape yourself in the Super Earth flag and be super patriotic. Go and pay your $10. That's the thing. You're gonna see a bunch of other videos, and you're gonna have a bunch of different strats. Just know that I always look for what is most user friendly. You know, I don't necessarily look for, oh, this makes the most sense because flak is this and blah blah blah, and you have to aim a lot, and you know, I look for what is best for the average player, and that's Wasp, Ultimatum, a bunch of CC, and even Orc. I don't do it because I have to. I mean, I've had games where I literally just run around with the primary and just complete the game. I do it because it makes the most sense.
Sending down equipment package.
If you're also looking for a good primary to customize and fully upgrade, I would highly suggest the Reprimand.
You will never destroy our way of life.
It's always been good, regardless of what people say. People say it's trash, blah blah blah. It's always been amazing. And then after the upgrades, it's pretty much god tier. This is just me playing with the Harvester now, because why not?
Injury? What injury?
Nope. No cooldown for you. Over 200 meters or about 200 meters, instant kills. That's the only thing. The rockets, they fire in a wonky spiral. So you have to be mindful of like high rocks and walls.
Coordinates received. This is Pelican 1 returning to extraction radius.
One thing I'll talk about is battle sense. It's just the ability to understand which fights you have to take, which fights you have to run from, what angle to take, and kind of like that spidey sense that tells you I'm about to get flanked or there's enemies behind me. And this right here screams to me that it's a trap, you know? So instead of staying here and fighting this extract, which I could, I decide to run. Feel like I'm being set up.
Helldivers not at extraction site. Pelican 1 landing aborted. Regaining altitude.
I don't know for certain I would have lost that fight, but I just have the sneaking suspicion that it would have been either tough or it wouldn't have gone in my favor.
Super destroyer leaving low orbit. Pelican 1 will re-attempt pickup at extraction zone.
There's two ways to approach extract 2. Final extract. Final extract is usually the way to go if you want to be safe. So you wait for the time to run down, You wait for Pelican to land by itself because time has run out. And then you make your way back to extract and either sneak your way or just blind screaming run for help, you know, to the Pelican.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Your choice. If you're going to do the running thing, running for dear life, I suggest stimming with experimental infusion.
ETA, T-minus 2 minutes. ETA, T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds.
One of the criticisms I hear about Wasp is that when things get hairy, it's not really that great of a weapon. But as you can see, like I've had multiple dicey situations, and I'm totally fine. You just have to understand that it's a long to mid-range weapon, and it's not going to help you at close range. So you're going to have to bring something that has synergy with that. So if I know I have long and mid-range cover, and I have deficiency short range, what should I bring? You know, for me that was Reprimand, because Reprimand slaps up close. Reprimand's weakness is that it's not good mid to long range, well after mid range. So if you put that together, you have a viable kit. Another problem would have been like, oh well, what if you get overrun? That's where MG turret come into play, gas grenades and orbital gas. And in some respect, experimental infusion, because that'll give you the chance to stim and then run and break ankles on these fools.
ETA, T-minus 10 seconds. Clear landing zone.
One thing you should get good at is juking enemies. So if you get comfortable with weaving through enemies, it's game changing to be able to navigate through a thick enemy population.
Countdown initiated. Stand by for takeoff. Extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning ascent.
That's it. 500 kills, Illuminate units, easy work.
Maintained our way of life.
Not easy because it's easy. Okay, that's one thing I'd like to explain. Easy because you brought the right tools. Okay? And not easy because it's like, oh, I'm so skilled. Look at me. I can, dominate with nothing. You know, it's like, no, I brought the right tools. I understood how to fight the enemy. And I fought them in the correct way. Not easy like the game sucks and it's too easy. Easy like you planned correctly, you brought the right stuff, and you understood your enemy. So you did not have any major problems. Anyway, only Joel signing out. If you like this game, please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. See you!
Now that was what I call a profitable use.